The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I want to first and foremost, before I say anything else, thank you so very, very much for taking the time to join us this morning. I do believe you'll find the presentation today to be very informative and very timely. Today we are going to have one of our top sales coaches with us, Mr. Dave Pimper, and he is going to discuss Social Security claiming and Social Security marketing, something that he personally has had a lot of success with, and many of our advisors throughout the country have had great success with as well. Before we get this handed over to Dave, I am going to go through a few housekeeping items and a few introductory slides, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of today's presentation. First housekeeping item, and probably the most important thing you will hear come out of my mouth today, is in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's our phone number. That number is 800-255-5055. If there is anything we can be doing here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services to help you and your efforts in the life, fixed annuity, or assets under management arenas, we'd absolutely love the opportunity. Please do not hesitate to give us a call. Second housekeeping item is polling questions. Throughout the presentation today, we will launch a poll or two. They will just be yes questions. If you would please take the time to participate in this, we certainly appreciate that. And then final housekeeping item are going to be questions. Dave is going to throw a lot of information at you in a fairly short period of time here, so I'm sure there are going to be some questions. Feel free to type them into the questions box. Dave does such a great job of trying to answer everything as best as he can. If it's something that we can't get answered while we're live and in session, feel free to continue to type it in. We will get you an answer to that as we follow up on the presentation. That being said, that's our housekeeping items. Let's go ahead and get into some of the introductory slides here. Business builders, I do want to talk about this first and foremost. One of my favorite slides in any of the introduction slides that I offer. All I'm going to talk about here is putting dollars back into your pocket and how IAMS partners with you to do that. And we'll start with our referred producer program. Our business here on the wholesale side of the industry, very, very similar to yours there in the field. And in the sense that one of the best leads we will ever obtain is a referral from one of our valued clients, or you, our valued advisor. So we want to make it worth your while to refer individuals over to us. When you refer a producer over to us and they pick up any license through Insurance Agency Marketing, we're going to send you a $50 thank you check. Now, where the real money comes into that is as your referral writes business, we're going to give you a 20 basis point override on the business they write. Steve and Charles, our ownership team, cut these checks at least quarterly, and they sign checks for thousands and thousands of dollars at a time. Can be very, very lucrative. One thing I do want to point out about that 20 basis point override is that's all we're talking about here is an override. We're not setting up a hierarchy or anything of that nature. So what that means is, let's say you refer an advisor over to us, they write some nice business, and 6 months later, that business goes south and they enter into a chargeback scenario. We're going to handle that here internally at IAMS. That chargeback is never going to roll up to you. So it's a great way for you to get the override you deserve, but be protected from the liability of a hierarchy type scenario. If you have or know of a producer that you think could benefit from doing business with us at IAMS, feel free to type their name and contact information into the questions box, email it over to me, scott@iamsinc.com, or when I call to follow up, let me know who they are. Me or someone on my team will do the best that we can to get them recruited here to IAMS and get you on the way to earning some referred producer dollars. Moving down the slide to our marketing reimbursement program, this is probably our most popular program that we offer, and it's available to every advisor. No need to enroll. Every advisor that's licensed with us is automatically enrolled into it. Rough numbers on this: for every $100,000 in premium that you place with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, we put $100 into your marketing reimbursement account. Now, what makes our marketing reimbursement account so popular and so lucrative is we consider it to be your money in that account. So we're not going to tell you you've got to cash it out at a certain time frame, 6 months, a year, anything like that. We are also not going to tell you, we're not going to cap your amount of earnings. You can grow it as large as you want to. And really the key here is we are very, very comfortable with just about any vendor that you want to use. And what I mean by that is, let's say you've got a lead company or a printing firm or a graphic design place that you've had success with and you enjoy working with. We're not going to tell you who you've got to work with. All we're going to ask of you is you submit the receipt to us. Hopefully we'll cut you a check that same day, if not the next day, get it back out to you to help you offset that cost. Now, if you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account currently, or if you'd like to have a conversation about more detail how it works, just let me know. It's a great conversation. We can get you all of that information. New producer builders. This is going to be geared towards people who are new to us here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services, or if this is your first introduction to us here at IAMS, you are eligible for the new producer builder. This is based off production within your first 180 days of being licensed. And as you can see, there are 3 great levels where you can cash in at, and inside of each level, great options for you to choose from. Things like cash rewards, personal perks, business builders, a lot of great things available to you there. If you'd like to know where you stand as far as new producer, or have a conversation with someone on our marketing staff about what we can do to help you step up to that next level, just let us know. Again, that's another great conversation to be having. Back office support, saving you time. This is the heart of who we are here at IAMS, and how we were founded 33 years ago is to help independent advisors work smarter and not harder. And we do that with a lot of great tools and a great culture that has been grown up here at IAMS. We're going to do that with business building tools and resources, things like our webinars, our live trainings, things like our online tools, all available to you, at the click of a button. Case design assistance and life and annuity quotes. A lot of expertise on my marketing desk here. A lot of experience. I don't want to date us or anything like that, but we're going to make a commitment to our advisors that we're going to help you with case design assistance when you need it. Here at IAMS, we will answer the phone within 3 rings, and you'll have a live person on the other end that can assist you. Also, with the illustrations for both life or annuity, we are going to have those out to you within 24 hours of the request. That's a commitment we make to our advisors. We know that these are tools that help you make more sales, and the more sales you make, the more money we all make. So that's what we're here to do. Forms at your fingertips. 2 ways to get forms very, very easily. Go to IAMSinc.com, click a button to request them, or call 800-255-5055. We can drop ship them to you. We can email them to you. We'll get you the forms you need, current forms that you need, very, very quickly. Submission to commission support. This is our new business team. And what we mean by submission to commission support is we are here to be your back office and take that off of your plate. We will scrub applications for you. We will submit applications for you. We will track them through the issuance process to ensure that you are getting commissioned as quickly as possible. Amber Williams heads up our new business team, and she does such a fantastic job. Her entire team does. So what I'd tell you is, if you are accustomed to working your own business through the issuance process, submit an application through IAMS. Give us your first app with us. Have Amber and her team work it for you. Not only will it save you time and take that off your plate, but I honestly believe that you will get commissioned faster because this team is working it for you. Top sales, expertise, and coaching. As I said in the introduction, or on the very first slide, you're going to hear from one of our sales coaches, Dave Pimper. We've got several throughout the country that do a great job. I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But just know we have top sales expertise and coaching available to our licensed agents. And then paperless contracting. One of the greatest things that our industry has done is get more digital, and we can do that with paperless contracting. What that means is we all remember the pains of filling out individual licensing forms. We're done with that now. We're going to send you one licensing agreement. You fill it out, select the carriers you want. initially, submit it back to us. We get it all taken care of for you. 6 weeks down the road, you want to add on a new carrier. All you have to do is give us a call. Say, Scott, I want to add on carrier XYZ. I'll let our licensing team know. They'll click a button. Boom, it's in process. So it's very, very easy for you to do and save a lot of time and a lot of hand cramps. Creative Marketing Solutions. Jacob Tedlock and his team here, IAMS Creative, in office, in-house full creative team, graphic design, printing assistance, mailing assistance, radio assistance, everything that you could do for creative marketing is available to you here in-house at IAMS. We've got a ton of turnkey solutions that we've developed for other advisors, that we've developed on our own, that are ready to print, customized with your information on it, professionally written, handouts, flyers, newsletters, postcards, all available to you. Agency solutions, creating a customized brand. One thing that I'd tell you is if you haven't ever branded your business, if you do not have a consistent and customized logo, I'd tell you to take a look at it. Give Jacob a call. It's something that can really, really help you. Brand consistency is huge, really will help you resonate in your natural market. We can do that with logo design. We can drop that logo into business cards, brochures, stationery, and it will be customized for you. And then digital solutions, online marketing, really, really big new area. I shouldn't say new area, really big area for how to prospect, how to create the consistency of brand. We can help you with that with personal website, marketing strategies, email marketing consulting, online newsletters, and social media consulting. We've got a lot of expertise there and have had a lot of our advisors utilize that expertise and see some really nice results from it. Anything that we talked about on this slide, if it's of interest to you, give Jacob a call here in the office, talk to someone on his team. They'd love to see what we could be doing to help you out there. Our website, I know I mentioned it earlier, IAMSinc.com. If you haven't been out there and created an account, I'd tell you to do so. We've got great sales tools, term quote engine, annuity quote engine, product grids, forms online, a lot of great stuff there. Newest thing that we just added on is we now have a partnership with Lockton Affinity for discounted errors and omissions for our licensed advisors. So as we're coming up on January 1 here, if anybody's looking to renew E&O, you can now start that process for a pretty nicely discounted rate right at IAMSinc.com. I'd tell you to go check it out. Retirement Analyzer. This is one of my favorite things in the entire world. And the reason why the Retirement Analyzer is one of my favorite things is because it's a holistic analysis of your client or prospect's current financial standing and how long their dollars will last them into retirement. But I also think it's a closing tool to help you increase your closing percentage, because by showing them the Retirement Analyzer and then by simply clicking a button to show them the product or strategy that you're recommending in a very easy to understand chart or graph, however you'd like to present it, you can show the client exactly how much longer their money will last into their retirement years because they chose to do business with you, because they chose to implement your recommendations. So great tool to help clients understand their financial standpoint. Also great closing tool to help you really increase your closing percentage. IAMS Wealth Management. I do want to talk about this as well. IAMS Wealth Management is our newest foray, newest entrance into the marketplace, and we're very excited about it. 18 months ago, we launched IAMS Wealth, and as I talk about IAMS Wealth, I'm going to launch our first poll of the day, asking you if you'd like more information. What will happen if you click yes is simply you'll receive some automated information about who we are at IAMS Wealth and a call from our onboarding specialist, Mike Hansen, to go into more detail. So with IAMS Wealth Management, we founded it along the same lines as our IMO. We wanted to help the independent IAR with great service and great support. And we have gone out and gotten great partners to do that. We've got a very, very robust platform, great money managers, as well as really, really strong fee structure for both our advisors and their clients. If you are an existing IAR, I'd tell you, click yes, have a conversation with Mike. I think you'd be very impressed with our technology and the fee structure that goes along with it. If you are considering adding assets under management into your offerings, into your business, I'd also tell you to click yes, have the conversation with Mike. We've got some great educational partners that can help you to prepare for the test and pass the test first time around. That being said, I'm going to move on from this poll. So if you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would please do so, I'd certainly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Moving on, and I hate to do this to you back to back, but I'm going to launch two polls here right back to back. And what I'm asking you in this poll is if you'd like information about our Life and Annuity Academy. We are going to host at least 4 Life and Annuity Academies in 2019. Don't have the dates yet, but we will have them shortly. If you click yes, that's going to put you onto the interested parties list, and you will be the first individuals notified once we have locked up those dates. What we do in our Life and Annuity Academies are we normally will fly in our advisors on a Wednesday, have an evening session Wednesday, full day session on Thursday, and then we will have a morning session Friday, get you back out on the road and hopefully home in time for dinner Friday night. We will bring in carrier partners to discuss where they are positioned at in the industry. One thing we ask whenever we allow a carrier in is that they don't come with just product material. We are not looking to host a product roadshow. We are looking to host a sales and marketing conference. So not only do they bring a little bit of product information, but we require them to talk to you about the niche that they fill in the market, how to position the product, how best to help you implement it in your recommendations. We will bring in our department heads from internally here at IAMS. You'll meet myself. You'll meet Amber Williams. You'll meet Charles R. Hiring. Jacob Tedlock will be there, of course. You'll meet Steve Murray and Charles Hiring, our ownership team, to talk to you about who we are here at IAMS, what we do to help our advisors grow their practices. A lot of great information. And what I think is the most valuable about these is we are going to bring in at least 4 of our sales coaches from throughout the country. And to be a sales coach with IAMS, not only do you have to talk the talk, but you also have to walk the walk. And what I mean by that is our sales coaches are top producers in the industry. They're the upper 1% of commission and fee earners in the industry. And they're going to show you exactly what it is they do in their daily practices to make themselves so successful and to give you the ability to take that information home with you, implement it in your own practice. So very, very valuable information. That being said, we're going to move on from this. I'm going to close down the poll. If you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would please do so, certainly appreciate that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Point out the fun stuff here before we move on into the meat and potatoes. The IAMS Marketing Summit, August 25th to 29th, 2019, will be at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, Florida. If you've ever been to Naples, it's a beautiful spot. If you've ever been to the Ritz, it's a great locale. 3 million trip credits will get you into the trip. If you'd like to know where you stand, if you'd like to have a conversation about what we can do to help you get over that 3 million trip credit threshold, please let me know. This is going to be our largest marketing summit of all time, and we're really excited about it. Definitely would like to have you join us. More fun stuff, the Equitrust Dash for Cash promo. If you haven't seen this, if you haven't heard from us, every $25,000 in Equitrust life or annuity premium that you submit will get you into that week's drawing. Our third drawing is this Friday, December the 7th. It'll be at 1 p.m. Central Time. We do host them on Facebook Live. We will give away $1,000 cash. So if you haven't looked at Equitrust lately, I'd tell you to do it. They've made some great product enhancements. They have some really strong products. Plus, we can put an extra $1,000 into your pocket. The grand prize drawing will be next Friday, or a week from this Friday. So yeah, next Friday, December the 14th. We're going to give away a total of $6,000, and anyone that has written Equitrust Premium in the promotional period will be in that drawing. So a lot of money is going to be given away. We want you to be a part of it. If you'd like to talk about Equitrust and the products that they're offering, please let me know. And with that, I'm going to hand control over to Mr. Dave Pimper and let him start chatting with you guys.
Scott, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We've got about 25 or so minutes here that we'll be discussing Social Security claiming strategies. Okay, so what happens is that in today's day and world, when you start looking at pre-retired and retired, there is no doubt that almost everyone, 94% of all folks that are retired and of age, have a Social Security benefit. So it's a very big deal. And if you go in a little bit, just to tell you about my background, is that I've been in the business since 1981, so 30 plus years, given over 480 public seminars. Just got done with a client event that we rented out and showed It's a Wonderful Life. We did that on Sunday. The tough thing is it snowed, so we lost a few people because of the ice and snow, but marketing is what my forte is. And I'm a producer just like you are. It's just that I coach with insurance agency marketing services. I have for 12 or 13 years now, specifically around their producers. And one of the things that almost everybody wants is to be in front of more qualified prospects. And seminar marketing is not for everyone, but I will tell you right now, it can work. It doesn't work in every area, doesn't work with every advisor. But I will tell you, Social Security is that type of subject that you can have without a dinner. And so that's very interesting. You can do it without a meal because it's strong enough to get people there. In fact, I just had a Social Security, before I came on with the webinar today, that came in from a Social Security workshop. And it's interesting because the first thing he said to me is, all I want is just information on Social Security. And of course, before we're done, we're fact finding for a $400,000 plan. Now, whether I go in and get that monies and work with it is one thing, but at least I'm swinging at that ball. So if you have any questions, certainly go and type them on in, and then we will answer those at the end of the webinar. But baby boomers, do you know the ages of baby boomers? Yeah, they're born from basically from 46 to 1964. And what happens is that people don't start thinking about Social Security normally until they're into their mid or their later 50s. That's kind of the first time. But when you start looking at who we mail to 58-year-olds to 67. We mail to that 9-year span. People come to a seminar like this with questions in their minds that say, when should I apply for my benefits? What's the best age to apply? How can I coordinate the benefits with my spouse? What's my cost if I take early? How much more will I make if I delay? Survivor's benefits, meaning someone passes. How about if you're divorced? I call it the triple play. We'll talk a little bit about that. I call it new Social Security laws, even though it was the 215 Bipartisan Budget Act. And many people think that Social Security will not be there for them. You know, when I was little, I'm 63 years of age now, but when I was small, well, let's just say, I shouldn't say small. When I was, say, out of college in my first job, they said, don't rely on Social Security because it won't be there. Well, it is. And there's almost $3 trillion within the trust fund. See a lot more articles like this. This one happened to come from Kiplinger's report, December of 2015. Yeah, you're seeing, which is a lot of press on Social Security. Specifically, why seminars on Social Security? Well, it's a subject that very few people understand. Very few people understand Social Security and how it works. Only 15 to 18% of advisors, agents, reps understand Social Security. Targets for me, it's that pre-retired to retired crowd. It's a perfect demographics. I don't mind giving meals at workshops, but a lot of agents and advisors would rather not and save that money. This is no meals are required in the Social Security workshop. They're more educational, so we have them at libraries, colleges, etc. I always say the prospects need us more than we need them. You know, what happens is they want that report. They want that 11-page report. Pretty high conversion rate for appointments from Social Security and transitioning, like that guy today that I met. You know, he only wanted information on Social Security, and before we know it, we're going to go in and we're going to propose on $400,000. And again, if you get a lot in your pipeline, the chance of you doing business just goes up. So will it be there? And we're saying yes, it will. Let's go in and talk kind of in general about Social Security. Social Security, there's really 3 ages or dates that are important in Social Security. It's the first date that you can go in and take Social Security normally. At what age is that? 62. There's the last date that you want to go in and you have to take Social Security or you just lose that benefit until you take it, 70. So in those 8 years, and there's something called full retirement age, and all of your benefits start with full retirement age. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, not the first day of the month, but the second day of the month or the next 360, 63 days, yeah, what'll happen, or 64 days, what happens is, if you're born from 1943 or 1954, your full retirement age is 66. I was born in April of 1955, so mine's 66 years and 2 months. 56, 4 months. 57, 6 months. 58, 8 months. 59, 66, 10 months. 1960 or later, 67. 67. So everyone basically now has a full retirement age between 66 and 67. Now, the simplicity of Social Security understanding 101. If you go in and you take before full retirement age, your Social Security will be less, will be discounted. You get it now, but it's discounted. If you wait longer than full retirement age, you don't get your benefit now, but it delays until you take it. Very interesting. You delay until you take it. Is there a right way to do it? No. But I will say this, if you take early, look how much is discounted. If your full retirement age is 66, and it could be 67, but we're looking here at 66 column. You take it 62, there's a 25% discount. You take it 63, there's a 20% discount. You take it 64, here's what the factor is, 65. At 66, you get 100% of your benefit. So there certainly are reasons to take early, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Any questions, certainly just type them on in. So let's just talk about a basic spousal benefit. The basic spousal benefit with Social Security is, let's say John's in PIA. Social Security likes acronyms. PIA stands for Primary Insurance Amount. That's the amount at full retirement age, FRA. PIA at FRA. So John's PIA at 66 is $2,000. That's his benefit. Jane's primary insurance amount at full retirement age is $800. So here's what happens. Let's say they both start their benefit. John will take his $2,000. He's the higher. He gets all of his. Jane can take all of her benefit or half of her husband's, whichever is higher. Of course, this is gender neutral. Could be Jane having $2,000 and John having 800, but in this case is John with 2 and Jane at 8. So John takes his 200 or 2,000. What is Jane's benefit? Well, her own benefit is 800, but the benefit she'll be able to pull from Social Security is half of John's, because it's more, that 1,000 is more than 800 of hers. So she's able to get 1,000. Interesting, huh? Now John has to start his for hers to get hers. If John lets his delay, she can only take 800 until John down the road, say at age 70, takes his. Then she'll be able to get half of what his would have been, plus cost of living increases at age 66. So she doesn't get half of John's benefit at 70. She gets half of John's benefit at 66. So if cost of living, hers has gone up to, say, in 4 years to 900, but if she would have got 200 more at full retirement age, she'll get 200 more at age 70. Now, I will tell you this, there's going to be a lot of people that are going, what is he talking about? My gosh, is all, but that if you think you're confused, what about that average prospect in the crowd? Oh my gosh, they're really at, like, my gosh, they're at a standstill. And that's why we're here to really go in and to explain it to them so they get a gist of what it is and they need more information to sign up for the appointment. I'll show this to you, but I do 5 coaching sessions with my Social Security seminar clients, and there's a charge for that, which we'll cover in a second. That's how I make money, is by charging for my coaching expertise. I'm not in your hierarchy. I'm not in your override. And so that makes it kind of nice. I want you to be as successful as you can from this and get as many of qualified appointments as you possibly can. Remember, if there's any questions, certainly type them on up and we'll touch base on them. I call the divorced spouse benefit one of the most non-used benefits that there is with Social Security claiming. First of all, I call it the triple play. Here's the triple play with divorced spouse benefits. The marriage must have lasted 10 years or more. Okay? So if it lasted 9, you can't do it. If it lasted 10 years or more, then you're still in the running. That's one out of the triple play. Then the person receiving the divorced spouse benefits is currently unmarried. You could actually be married after you get divorced. You just have to be currently unmarried when you qualify or try to qualify for getting the Social Security benefit. And then the third leg of that triple play is your ex must be at least age 62 or more. Okay? Marriage lasted 10 years. Person receiving the divorced spouse benefits is unmarried currently. The ex-spouse that you divorce is at least 62. If that's the case, there's another one too, but this isn't most people, when they come in, that they've already gone and qualified for this. Well, it says if the divorce was more than 2 years ago, the ex-spouse does not have needed to file for the benefits. But as long as longer than 2, the ex-spouse, it makes no difference about the ex-spouse. All they want to care about is Social Security Administration if he's at least 62. Well, if that's the case, then they can go in and use that ex-spouse just as if you were still married to him. Why is that important? Because married couples have more benefits than single couples have. No doubt. So that divorce spouse benefit, it's really big. I mean, just to give you an idea, let's just say from a married benefit, let's just go on in and say, I'm making this up completely. Let's say it's a doctor's wife and the doctor's maxed out. He's making, I'm just saying this, say he makes $2,600 a year. And let's just say that they're divorced, and say that at-home spouse never had anything, not a thing. You know, she never made her 40 quarterly credits of coverage, her 10 years of coverage with Social Security. So she has no benefit. Well, on her own, she has no benefit. But using a divorced spouse benefit, she never got remarried. Say he's 66 years old, he's after 62, and marriage lasted 25, 30 years or over 10 years. She can go in and she can get half of her benefit, of his benefit. Half of 2,600 is 1,300. She can go on in and she can get that benefit, even though she has nothing on her own. How about when he dies? Say he dies in 10 years and his benefit has grown up to $3,300, say $3,000. All of a sudden she's got now a survivor benefit, all from being divorced and not remarried. Interesting, huh? Most people don't take that benefit or don't even know that that benefit exists, the divorced spouse benefit. Survivor, I talked a little bit about it, but the normal survivor benefit is, say there's Joe and Julie, they're both married, they're full retirement age, 66 or older if they're born in 43 to 54. Joe's benefits $2,000, Julie's $1,200. Joe dies. If the higher Social Security benefit earner dies, then Julie can go in and she can drop hers. She can call Social Security or write or go online and say, I don't want my $1,200 benefit, but I want to jump up to my deceased husband's $2,000 benefit. Now, $2,000 plus $1,200 when they're both living, that's $3,200 a family benefit. They're not going to have a $3,200 family benefit on a survivor benefit because Julie's going to let hers go, but she can jump up to Joe's bigger benefit and get that extra $800 than if she just was stuck with hers. Now, the interesting thing, a spousal benefit is done automatically. A survivor benefit, you have to go in and request it from the Social Security Administration. You have to make them aware, and then they have to implement this type of benefit. Well, if you forget, well, you're just out of luck. I had a lady, quite a while ago, 4 or 5 years ago. She came to a workshop. She comes in kind of befuddled, perplexed, and she says, yeah, I really don't understand what you said here, but let me just say my situation. I've been widowed for quite a long time, almost 6 years. And my husband's benefit was, his was $1,800 and hers was $1,400. They both worked full time. And so there was $400 difference between the two. But when he died, she never jumped up to his, never requested that. So that's $400 a month she's out, 12 months a year. That's almost that's almost $5,000, $4,800, almost $5,000 a year at 6 years. She was out almost $30,000. It made her sick. I said, don't kill the messenger. When you're coaching with me, this is the kind of unique circumstances that you'll learn. And you can call me anytime you want to if we're coaching together and you're giving a seminar. And even if you do 1 or 2 seminars and you don't do after that, as long as you start with me, you can use me as much as you want for any questions that you have. So what happens here is a survivor benefit. What a big deal. And just know most of the people, not all, most of the people that I work with, that the woman will outlive the man, probably 75, 80% of the time. My mom right now, she's in Cancun. Can you believe that? She's 95 years old. She's dated for 7 years Dean Pearson. He's 95 years old. They take a trip. This is the 3rd time they've been down to Cancun. They've been to the Mediterranean. They've been to they've been to Hawaii. My mom's 95. He's 95. People are just living longer. He plays bridge. She plays bridge. She has about 20 girlfriends. One man still living. That's Dean Pearson. But people are living longer. So you certainly want to go in and know what the rules are on something like a surviving benefit. Coordinating spousal benefits. Well, the Bipartisan Budget Act changed things. That was three years ago, 2015. So what did it change? Well, first of all, file and suspend is gone. We cannot file and suspend, but you can do a very similar, and in fact, more widely used, would file and suspend was still around. And I just went through it with a guy. I don't think it's going to fit for him. But here's, if you were born before January the 2nd of 1954, So you're born on January 1 to 54 or before. So you were 64 at the beginning of this year. Then you can still do this. If you're younger than that, you can't. But here's what happens. You got Mike and Mary. They're both full retirement age on this hypothetical of 66. Mike's PIA, what's that stand for? Primary insurance amount is $2,000. Mary's PIA is $800. Okay? Mary files for a benefit at 66 to get some money in for the family. Mike elects to do a restricted application. So here's what he does. He starts his in the eyes of Social Security, but then he stops it, which is legal. He does not take an income. He continues to let his grow. It's 8%. 8% a year from full retirement age till 70. So if you're 66, if he lets it grow to 67, his 2,000 benefit is now, it grows a guaranteed $160. What about the 2% inflation this year? Well, now it's 10%. It's guaranteed to grow $200. Yeah, $200 for just letting 1 year, for the rest of your life. And if you die, then your wife can pick it up if it's a bigger benefit. But he can let that grow, and at the same time, he's going over and taking half of Mary's $800, which is $400 on a spousal benefit. It's called restricted application. Mary starts hers. She takes her $800. Mike files and restricts his application. He doesn't take an income, but he's able to take half of Mary's. Half of $800 is $400. You got $1,200 now coming into the household. That $400 a year, almost $5,000, or $400 a month, almost $5,000 a year, over $19,000 in 4 years. I'm telling you, it's free money. It's free money, but very, very, very few people request this to get it. But you have to be full retirement age. Not both of them. The younger can be younger. It'll be decreased a little bit on their own benefit. But what happens is restricted application is still around, going strong if you were 64 at the beginning of this year. Pretty cool. Now, I'm not saying that everyone understands every bit of that. When we walk through this, role play through this, read books on this, and there is some work that's done, but it's really a cool benefit for Social Security. You know, what Social Security personnel can, I always call it, it's Baskin Robbins on steroids. You go down there, pick a number, and just be amazed by the people and wait for your turn to come up. They can estimate the individual benefit you're entitled to now, but they can't offer advice to you. Is that bizarre? They cannot offer advice. I'm a registered investment advisor. I do a lot of security business, and I do fixed indexed and fixed annuities also. But it'd like somebody coming into me and say, "Hey, can you give me some investment advice or some annuity advice?" And I'd say, "Nope, I can do a lot of things, but I can't give you advice on that." The Social Security does not want to go in and be liable for their answers. This comes right from taking the claim on the Social Security. It's called their POMS, P-O-M-S guide. Look at D. Provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Yeah, that opens it up for us to be that advice source. I do have this in the actual workshop, the 5 pillars of income. I don't have the evaluation sheet, but the reason I put this on here, they go hand in hand. Yeah, I say the 5 pillars of income are work, then pensions, a second. And then income producing assets, I normally say third. So that's your 401ks, your IRAs, your SEPs, your simples, your brokerage accounts, bank accounts, real estate, farmland, etc. And then how Social Security goes in and kind of as a conduit, but how it complements those other 4 types of income. And I say Social Security is by far the most flexible of all of those, meaning if you're 65 years of age, how much more are you going to make this year than last year? Maybe cost of living if you're lucky. Yeah, Social Security, 8% plus cost of living next year is 2.8, which is almost 3%. It could go up 11%. Your $2,500 benefit, you might be going up to $260 more in a year's time. What a big deal is that? But the 5 pillars of income. And then we have an evaluation form here that we hand out at the end of every meeting. And when that seminar is done, that's in their green packet. They take that out and they can mark yes, they want a consultation, or no, they don't. But I'll tell you right now, most people, I found that half the people that are there, they want a consultation. They want to learn more about Social Security. Well, how do we make money? No doubt. When you're looking at that, I mean, today I was asking that guy, let me give you an idea of what you got for your assets. And so he said, he has $270,000 in an IRA. He has $400,000 in another IRA. He's got $35,000 at the bank. He has 2 lots, not counting his home. Actually, one is a home. And then he's got $50,000 in an alternative investment. But I said, would you be open on both of those 2 IRAs or all? And he said, I would be open on that $400,000. And that's how it came about. And he thought he was in there just for Social Security. Happens all the time. All the time. If any questions, certainly pop them on up there. Elaine Floyd, she was independent back 8 years ago when she started this, or 9 years ago, but now she works for Horsesmouth. She put together the Social Security program, but it's the calculator. It's the software that does the report. It's about a 10 or 11 page report. It's in color, shows break evens. It's really cool. There's a cost to it. It's about $530. And that's for a year's time. It's a little less than that if you renew it for the next year. We don't do that in-house. We do that out-of-house. It also has 300 pages, 200 of our very good reading material. It talks about Social Security planning for baby boomers. Okay? We call it a marketer's toolkit. It has the webinars that we use. They actually have 3 different webinars, one for professionals, one for women, and then a general. We use the general, and I've added and taken from that workshop a seminar PowerPoint to make it work. You can go in and ask any kind of questions to Elaine about Social Security, and she'll answer them in short order within 24 hours to you. You can certainly call me and we can discuss them, or email me and we can discuss those on the phone. I'm more than happy to do that with you. But we couldn't do it in-house for what they provide. It says they present over 400 public seminars. Actually, I've presented 481, and I call the client event. It also is, even though it's not public, but it's certainly a seminar setting, and with speakers and so forth. And so 482, public seminars / client events that I've had since the mid 80s. I try to make a complicated subject much easier to understand. Okay. I've got over 30 attachments. So we do it on the phone. It takes about 45 minutes. And, when I'm done, I will go in and email you normally an article or you get everything we use, you can use. It's a proven system. I mean, I've done a lot of it. We have lots of folks here with IAMS, and what this system is it is only for the IAMS representative. So there's no doubt if you use another FMO, this business needs to come through IAMS. It's important that happens, and you get this kind of support and this kind of material to be able to work your seminars with. It's a turnkey system. There's proven transition language. We work through it. We go in and role play, but I also give you the written dialogue of what to say. No meals, and of course I've talked about the ongoing support, with myself. So as we're finishing up here, we're gonna go through a poll, and it says, do you want more information from me about Social Security seminar marketing? Yes or no? If you mark yes, then I will get your name and I will give you a call. Lynn actually will, one of our 3 administrators in our office. She will call you, and she's the one that really runs through from the seminar point, setting up the demographics. We certainly do that for you. We help you. Setting up the actual mail outs, we do that for you. If you want social media, we'll talk about that. Some do, some don't. But the big cost is in the marketing. It really, really is. So what happens is this isn't for the faint at heart. If you don't want to spend $3,000 to $4,000 to try to get 10 to 12, 13 good appointments from that, then this probably isn't your bag. But I will say this. Procrastination, there's an old saying that says, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. You never stop, do you? Never comes. Yeah, if you heard something today that you like, you should probably mark yes on this poll. So I'm going to put up this poll right now, and I'm going to go over with Scott Earhart, and he could talk just a teeny bit about that, and maybe if there's some questions there to answer. I do see there are a couple questions, so we'll go on in and we'll answer those. But I'm going to shoot this on over to Scott Earhart with IAMS.
Thank you, Dave. And that poll is now live. So as we do our sign off and go through a few questions here, we'll go ahead and take those questions. But if you would please take the time as we're getting them organized, just click yes or no on the poll box there. We'd certainly appreciate it. And the first question that has come in is, I'm going to read it verbatim. Isn't the discount taken at an earlier age made up over the 5 years until full retirement age? Does it even out, Dave?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting question. So what happens is, actuarially, it doesn't happen in 5 years. Actuarially, it happens in how long longevity is. So if you take it 62, if you've made it to 62, they'll go in, whether you're going to live longer if you're a woman, normally less if you're a man. But what happens is you're going to get a 25% discount. So if you were at a $2,000 benefit, you're going to have 25% discount. You're going to get $1,500. What actuarially, it normally is about between the age of 78 and 80. So it doesn't come out, you don't get your monies back in 5 years. It takes you about a lifetime to do that. Now, if you're like my mom who's 95, she beat the government. You know, people who die in their 60s or early 70s, government beats them. So I will just say this right now. Is there a reason 43% of all the people in the U.S. take the benefit at age 62? But you know what? There are some reasons to do that. You need the money. It's very important the money comes in. That's a good reason to do it. How about you got bad health? You're not going to live to that 78 or 80. Yeah. How about bad DNA in the family? But you know what? Over half of those people take it because of ignorance. They take it because, hey, everyone else is doing it. It may not be there for me. I'm just going to take early. If a lot of people, it's not the best reason. When we give workshops, we go out and give the options. We give the options to them so they can make the right decision. I see another question here talking about, you mentioned that it's between 3,000 and 4,000, but what's the type of return you've been getting from the average workshop? That's a good question. So averages are fickle, but I will say this. I've given probably 70, 80, 90 Social Security workshops in the last 7, 8 years. And I will say that here's the average. We mail out 6,000 pieces and they cost us 55 cents. So you got $3,300 of mail cost to do this workshop. Okay. The library, like I need a library card. So I got to spend like $50 a year for a library card. So there's a cost there. Okay. It's not a meal, but I give Cokes, cookies, and coffees. I give the 3 C's. That costs me about $1 a person. So I hope I get 40 people there, 35 to 45 people. That'll be about 25 or 6 buying units, and normally about half of those will come in for an appointment. That's 13. I can tell if I get less than 10 appointments, I'm unhappy. If I get more than 10 appointments, I'll be happy. Last time I went in and did the workshop, I got 14 appointments. That was high. That was good. And I closed 2 of those. I've got 2 others that were still like one of the guys was today that I talked to. So that's kind of, and you know what? There's 5 coaching sessions with me and there's a cost of $195. I actually get paid $750, $150 per session. But as long as you're running business and contracted through IAMS, they pay for 3/4 of that cost. They pay for $555. You pay for $195. And I'm going to teach you the ins and outs of Social Security. I want you to be know the background that I have. You can call me anytime you want to, email me, and I'll respond as quickly as I can once I'm out of my appointments or out of my my meetings. So if I'd love to talk to you. Call lasts normally between 20 and 30 minutes. We can talk about what you want to, but my goal is to go in and to get your production up. That's the entire thing, and that normally makes happy campers all the way around.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you for everyone that brought in those questions. One thing I would say as we are signing off here, if you have ever considered seminar selling, whether it's using Social Security or any other type of seminar presentation, click yes on that poll. Dave is an absolute expert in seminar selling. That is, I don't want to say it's the only way he prospects, but that's the vast majority of his business. A lot of expertise there. So whether it is Social Security or some other type of seminar selling, David be a great resource for you. Click yes, have that conversation. No obligation to have that conversation, but just see what it's all about. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and close down this poll, and we're going to shut down the webinar. So I do want to thank Dave Pimper very much. I know it's a very busy time of year for him. He did just close up his what I believe is his last seminar session of the year, so he's got a lot of appointments running right now. He took the time to join us today. Really appreciate that. Thank you, each and every one of you, for taking time with us. I know that 1 hour out of your day on a webinar is an hour where you're not out prospecting and selling, so we really do appreciate it. Go out, have a great sales day, everyone, and I look forward to speaking with you very, very soon.